Today, we'll break down a mechanism many know well, the good person mask. Let's not judge it. Let's see how it's constructed. We'll find its three main components. And in the end, we'll see what activates when this construct is no longer needed. Let's go. I'm glad to welcome those who have joined the channel today. This is a space for those seeking not predictions in the cards, but a dialogue with themselves. Without the sugarcoating, the deck is prepared, tuned to the topic in advance. And today, we will analyze the structure of one mask, the good person. And we'll do it through a spread right now. The first question to the deck: what is at the core? What will be revealed when the mask is removed? This is the key card, the mystery. It will remain under this white stone until the very end. The second question: which three key components does this mask consist of? The first component: what system does this mask serve? The second: at what cost? And the third: whom does the mask hide? The framework is set. Let's look and determine from which state such an analysis is born. This is the starting point, a mental pause for analysis. The Hermit. This is not a dead end. It's a pause necessary for analysis. The moment when you stop the autopilot to finally look at the blueprint of what has been working on its own for so long. Every honest analysis begins with such a pause. Ours begins with it too. Now, let's begin the main analysis. Let's start with the first component under this stone. What system does this mask serve? Eight of Pentacles, the engine of routine. This is the first component. Simply put, it's the engine that drives us in circles. It makes us do the same thing: be convenient, conform, not stick out. The good person mask is the cover of this engine. While it's running, you are not in charge. You are the operator on a treadmill that you didn't turn on. Imagine you wake up and you already have a list: what to do, whom to reply to, whom not to let down. And you do it day after day. You might even do it very well. But somewhere inside lives the question: and what's my part in this? Where is my want in all of this? That feeling, as if I have no part in this, is the energy of this card in our theme. This mask is not a sinister transformation. It is the most convenient clothing for living in such a routine. You don't need to think every day about how to behave. There's already a template. Be friendly, convenient, say yes. It saves a lot of energy. The problem is different. The problem is that this template starts to live its own life. It turns on by itself, even when it harms you. You can be tired, angry, but the mask has already stretched a smile and said, of course, before you had time to think. Why? Because somewhere deep down we've internalized, this way is safe. This way is predictable. This way I won't be rejected. It's a developed reflex. This card is not a verdict. It's a diagnosis. A diagnosis of the autopilot state. You are not bad. You just haven't taken the wheel for a long time because the autopilot was working properly. But now you are looking at it, and the very fact that you see it is already the first step towards reconfiguring it. You are no longer a passenger. You are the one looking at the instrument panel and noticing, aha, this button here, that's the very convenience for everyone mode. Now, the second component under this stone. What price do you pay for this? Five of Pentacles, the reset counter. The essence of this card is the feeling that there are no resources, even though they are 2 steps away. Imagine there's light, warmth, food in the house, but you sit in a dark, cold room because you can't bring yourself to flip the switch or open the door. Not because you can't physically, but because something inside says you can't. It's inconvenient. You don't deserve it. This mechanism resets your internal counter. You give energy, time, strength to servicing that very engine of routine from the first card. And you are left with a feeling of emptiness, as if you yourself got nothing. You are not greedy or weak. Your sensor, which shows where to find warmth and support, is broken. What does this look like in life? You're having a hard time, but you say, "I'm fine." You need help, but you refuse because it's inconvenient to ask. You seem to be among people, but you feel alone, as if there's thick glass between you and them. An important point: this doesn't mean there are no people or help around. They exist, but your inner setting, this mask of the strong, problem-free person, blocks the receiving channel. It says, accepting help is shameful. Showing fatigue is not allowed. And you remain at the temple of warmth, but cannot go inside. Why does the mask mechanism need this? So that you keep running in the same circle. If you allowed yourself to receive support, you would gain strength. And with strength might come the thought, why am I even running in this circle? Maybe I should turn off? The mask mechanism fears this. That's why it keeps your counter in a state of perpetual deficit. To recognize this malfunction is to stop believing its readings. You don't need to break down the door immediately. It's enough the next time the inner voice says it's inconvenient to ask to mentally reply. That's the broken sensor talking. In reality, it's okay to ask. And the third component, which makes up this mask, under this stone, whom does the mask hide? Queen of Cups, the blocked center. What will actually be revealed when the mask falls? The most important component, the Queen of Cups. This is your internal control center, intuition, deep feelings, true wants and don't wants. And here's the key revelation. The mask isn't hiding some weakness of yours. It temporarily blocks signals from this very center. While the engine of routine is running and showing the reset counter, the voice of your depth, your Queen of Cups, is muted. It hasn't been killed. It's been put on pause, because if it spoke at full volume, it would constantly ask inconvenient questions. Why do I need this? Do I like this? What do I want? This would interfere with the smooth operation of the entire mask mechanism, which is tuned to one thing, being convenient for the external world. How does this manifest? You have a quiet but persistent feeling that the situation is somehow off, but your mind immediately finds a rational explanation. That's the way it is. That's correct. You have a simple desire to rest, be silent, do something useless, in quotes, but you dismiss it as frivolous. This is not your stupidity or laziness. This is an attempt by your inner center to reach you through the noise of the working mechanism. It's like trying to hear a quiet melody in a noisy train station. The melody is there, but it can't be heard. What to do about it? You don't need to urgently release your depth. That might be frightening. The first step is simply to acknowledge that this center exists within you, that something wise lives inside, feeling subtly and deeply, and that it has been temporarily pushed to the background. Try right now, for a second, to forget about should and must. What one simple, quiet sensation or thought is trying to break through to you? Maybe a slight fatigue, a desire to postpone something, a quiet sadness, or conversely, a flicker of interest in something. Don't judge it, just notice it, like an LED on a remote control that's blinking, showing system is alive, center is present. So the blueprint is clear. The engine of routine, 8 pent, forces you to run in circles. The reset counter, 5 pent, convinces you there are no resources, and the inner center, Queen of Cups, is muted so as not to interfere with this race. Now, the main question, the answer to which has been under this large white stone from the very beginning. What will happen if this blueprint is stopped? What will activate in its place? Queen of Wands, activating the My Way mode. This is what appears. This is not a promise that you'll become a different person, fiery, loud, always confident. No. This is the restoration of access to your own control panel. When the mask mechanism is deactivated, you don't turn into someone else. You gain the ability to act not from duty and should, but from your inner understanding. This is how I see it. This is my decision. That's the whole difference. The mask mechanism forced you to imitate, to be good as someone expects. The Queen of Wands gives you the right to authorship. You are no longer trying to portray a fiery queen if your true strength lies in depth and sensitivity. There she is, your Queen of Cups. You take your depth and, leaning on it, begin to act in the world confidently. Not because you shout the loudest, but because you know the source of your strength. It's as if an artist who had been painting from other sketches for years suddenly remembered they have their own unique style and started painting in it. That doesn't make them a new person. It makes them the true author of their works. Therefore, the conclusion here is not rip off the mask and become brave. The conclusion is get to know the blueprint of your autopilot, see your blocked center, and begin slowly reclaiming the right to be the author of your actions, not the executor of others' programs. The blueprint is before you. The components are named. Now you know what you're dealing with, and knowing the mechanism structure is the first and main step towards learning to manage it. Thank you for being here. And if you want to continue, without illusions, dismantling the mechanisms of your deadlocks, subscribe. Here we speak of sober strength. Until the next analysis.